You downloaded music illegally. So did I. So did 50 million other Americans. We didn't think of ourselves as criminals. We were just kids who wanted free songs. But the music industry saw it differently. They sued a 12-year-old girl. They sued a dead grandmother. They sued 35,000 ordinary people for millions of dollars each. And at the center of it all was a little green frog icon called LimeWire, a program so dangerous it probably gave your family computer 17 viruses. This is the story of how one website turned an entire generation into pirates, how the music industry tried to destroy us for it, and how a single $75 trillion lawsuit ended everything forever. Chapter 1. Before LimeWire, there was Napster. To understand LimeWire, you have to understand the chaos that came before it. In 1999, a 19-year-old college dropout named Sean Fanning created a program called Napster. The idea was simple. What if everyone could share the music files on their computer with everyone else? Peer-to-peer file sharing. You have a song I want, I download it directly from you. No stores, no record labels, no payment. Napster exploded. Within a year, it had 80 million registered users. College dorm networks crashed because so many students were downloading music. The entire album you wanted? Free. That one song from the radio you couldn't find anywhere? Free. The complete discography of every artist you'd ever heard of? Free. All of it free forever. The music industry panicked. They'd spent a century controlling how music was distributed. You wanted to hear a song, you bought the album, you bought the single. You listened to the radio and hoped they played it. The labels decided what was available and what it cost. That control was worth billions of dollars annually. And Napster destroyed it overnight. The lawsuits came fast. Metallica sued Napster after their unreleased song appeared on the service. Dr. Dre followed. The Recording Industry Association of America, the RIAA, launched a legal assault that would eventually kill Napster entirely. In July 2001, a court ordered Napster to shut down its file-sharing service. The first great piracy platform was dead. But the music industry made a critical mistake. They killed Napster, but they didn't kill the idea. They just made it angry. Chapter 2. The Hydra Effect. When Napster died, something worse was born. Actually, dozens of something worse. The peer-to-peer technology Napster pioneered was now public knowledge. Programmers around the world built new services, decentralized ones that couldn't be shut down by suing a single company. Kazaa launched, Morpheus launched, BearShare launched, Grokster launched, and in 2000, a small company called Lime Group launched, LimeWire. The music industry had cut off one head and 100 grew back. Except now, instead of one company to sue, they faced a hydra of anonymous networks with no central server to shut down. The files weren't stored anywhere. They existed on millions of individual computers around the world, sharing directly with each other. LimeWire used something called the Gunatella protocol. There was no LimeWire server holding the music. When you searched for a song, your computer sent a request out to other computers running LimeWire. If someone had the file, you downloaded it directly from them. If a court shut down Lime Group tomorrow, the network would keep running. The users were the network. This was the music industry's nightmare. They'd spent millions killing Napster, and the result was a more dangerous enemy they couldn't kill at all. If you ever opened LimeWire and immediately started praying your computer wouldn't explode, you need to be subscribed to this channel. We're telling the stories of the internet everyone experienced but nobody documented. Hit subscribe, tap that bell, and if you're enjoying this, smash the hype button to help us out. Now let's talk about what made LimeWire different from everything else and why it became the most popular piracy tool in history. Chapter 4. The Green Frog That Conquered America. LimeWire wasn't the first peer-to-peer service after Napster, and it wasn't the most technologically advanced, but it became the most popular for one simple reason. It was easy. Stupidly, dangerously, beautifully easy. You downloaded the program, you installed it, you typed what you wanted into the search bar, you clicked download. That was it. No configuration, no technical knowledge, no understanding of what peer-to-peer even meant. A 10-year-old could use it. Millions of 10-year-olds did use it. The interface was clean and friendly. That little green frog logo felt harmless, almost cute. While other P2P programs looked like hacker tools, LimeWire looked like something your mom might accidentally install. And many moms did accidentally install it, or their kids installed it for them. By 2006, LimeWire had 50 million monthly users. It was installed on more than a third of all computers in America. At its peak, LimeWire accounted for 95% of all peer-to-peer file sharing traffic. 95%. Every other service was just a rounding error. The music industry estimated that LimeWire users downloaded billions of songs. Not millions, billions. Every album ever recorded was available for free instantly to anyone with an internet connection. The concept of paying for music became almost quaint. Why would you pay $15 for a CD when you could have the entire artist's catalog in 20 minutes for free? Chapter 4. The Wild West of Downloading. Using LimeWire was an adventure. Not always a good adventure, sometimes more of a horror movie, but definitely an adventure. You'd search for a song, dozens of results would appear. Same song title, different file sizes, different quality ratings, different sources. Which one was real? Which one was actually the song you wanted? Which one was a virus pretending to be a song? You had no idea. You just picked one and hoped. Sometimes you got exactly what you wanted. Crystal clear audio, perfect quality, the song you'd been searching for. Victory. Sometimes you got a terrible quality rip that sounded like it was recorded through a mattress. The song was technically there, but barely listenable. Acceptable losses. Sometimes you got a completely different song. You wanted In the Club by 50 Cent, and you got some random techno track by an artist you'd never heard of. Mislabeled files were everywhere. Frustrating, but you just delete it and try again. And sometimes, you got a virus that destroyed your family's computer. The viruses were legendary. LimeWire was essentially a direct pipeline into your computer from millions of strangers. Hackers uploaded fake music files stuffed with malware. You double-click what you thought was a Britney Spears song, and suddenly your computer was mining Bitcoin, sending spam, or just completely dead. The joke became a meme before memes existed. I downloaded a car on LimeWire, and now my computer has a virus. Parents across America watched their computers die slow, painful deaths and had no idea that their kids' music habits were responsible.
Chapter 5: The Great Mislabeling Conspiracy. Here's something that sounds like a conspiracy theory, but was actually real. The music industry deliberately poisoned LimeWire with fake files. Record labels hired companies to flood peer-to-peer networks with corrupted and mislabeled content. You download what claimed to be the new Eminem album and get 30 seconds of the song, followed by 2 minutes of silence or static or a message telling you piracy was wrong. Some files were intentionally mislabeled to waste your time. Some were corrupted so they'd crash your media player. Some were designed to look real but deliver garbage quality. The goal was to make LimeWire so frustrating that people would give up and buy music legally. It didn't work. Users just got better at identifying fake files. They'd check file sizes. If a 4-minute song was only 500 kilobytes, it was fake. They'd read comments from other users. They'd download from sources with good ratings. The arms race between the industry and the pirates continued, and the pirates mostly won. The industry also released interdiction software that would flood search results with fake copies of popular songs. Looking for the #1 hit? Good luck finding it among the 100 decoy files designed to waste your time. It was digital warfare, and ordinary Americans were caught in the crossfire. Chapter 6: The RIAA Declares War. The Recording Industry Association of America decided that if they couldn't kill the technology, they'd kill the users instead. In 2003, they launched the most aggressive legal campaign in entertainment history. They would sue individual file sharers for copyright infringement. Not the companies, not the programmers, regular people, your neighbor, your classmate, your grandmother. The first wave targeted 261 Americans. The RIAA used investigators to identify IP addresses sharing large amounts of music, then subpoenaed internet providers to reveal the users' identities. The lawsuits demanded thousands of dollars per song shared, potentially millions of dollars in damages from people who'd never seen that much money in their lives. The targets were deliberately varied to maximize fear. College students, single mothers, middle-aged professionals. The message was clear: anyone could be next. No one was safe. That kid in your dorm downloading music, he could owe the music industry his entire future. The media called it suing your customers. The RIAA called it protecting artists. The public called it insane. Chapter 7: The Human Wreckage. The lawsuits destroyed lives. Not metaphorically, literally destroyed the financial futures of ordinary Americans whose crime was downloading music like everyone else they knew. Brianna Lahara was 12 years old when the RIAA sued her. 12! She lived in public housing with her mother. Her crime? Downloading nursery rhymes and songs from the Kaza Kids section. Her mother settled for $2,000, money they didn't have, to avoid a lawsuit that could have demanded hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages. Gertrude Walton was sued by the RIAA in 2005. There was one problem. She had been dead for over a year when they filed the lawsuit. She was 83 when she died and had never owned a computer. The RIAA had to dismiss the case, but not before demonstrating exactly how careless their legal assault had become. Jamie Thomas Rossett was a single mother from Minnesota who was sued for sharing 24 songs. The jury found her liable for $222,000, over $9,000 per song. That verdict was later increased to $1.92 million for 24 songs. The case bounced through appeals for years, becoming a symbol of everything wrong with the RIAA's approach. Joel Tenenbaum, a college student, was hit with a $750,000 verdict for downloading 30 songs. 30 songs! More than $22,000 per song. His case also went through years of appeals, leaving his life in limbo while the legal system figured out if destroying a student's financial future was appropriate punishment for downloading music. 35,000 lawsuits later. Between 2003 and 2008, the RIAA sued approximately 35,000 Americans. 35,000 individual lawsuits against regular people, students, parents, grandparents, anyone unlucky enough to be identified and targeted. Most cases settled. People paid thousands of dollars to avoid trials they couldn't afford to fight. The average settlement was around $3,000, a fortune for college students in low-income families, pocket change for the record labels. The threat of potential damages in the millions made even innocent people consider settling just to make the nightmare go away. The lawsuits generated an estimated $400 million in settlements. That sounds like a lot until you realize the music industry claimed to be losing $12.5 billion annually to piracy. The legal campaign was a drop in the bucket financially, but it wasn't really about money. It was about fear. The RIAA wanted every American to know that downloading music could destroy their life. Every news story about a sued grandmother, every headline about a student facing bankruptcy was designed to scare people straight. Did it work? Piracy numbers didn't noticeably decline during the lawsuit campaign. LimeWire usage kept growing. People either didn't know about the lawsuits, didn't believe they'd be targeted, or simply didn't care. When everyone you know is committing the same crime, it doesn't feel like a crime anymore. Chapter 9, the monster lawsuit. In 2006, the RIAA and 13 major record labels finally went after the source. They sued Lime Group, the company behind LimeWire, for copyright infringement on a scale never before attempted. The lawsuit claimed that LimeWire had enabled the illegal downloading of thousands of songs, but the damages they sought were unprecedented. Using copyright law's provision for statutory damages, they demanded up to $150,000 per infringement. Multiply that by the thousands of songs in question, and the number became absurd: $75 trillion. $75 trillion, more than the entire GDP of the planet, more money than existed, a number that had no relationship to reality. The lawsuit was designed not to collect money because there was no money to collect, but to make a point, to humiliate, to destroy completely. Lime Group argued they were just providing technology, not committing piracy themselves. They pointed to the Sony Betamax case from 1984, where the Supreme Court ruled that VCRs were legal even though they could be used for copyright infringement. The technology had legitimate uses, and manufacturers weren't responsible for how consumers used their products. The court wasn't convinced. In 2010, a federal judge ruled that Lime Group had intentionally encouraged copyright infringement. Unlike neutral technology, LimeWire had been designed and marketed to facilitate piracy. They knew what their users were doing, and they celebrated it.
Chapter 10: The Day LimeWire Died. On October 26, 2010, a federal court issued an injunction ordering LimeWire to disable all file sharing functionality. The service that had enabled 50 million Americans to pirate billions of songs was dead, effective immediately. When you opened LimeWire after that date, instead of the familiar search interface, you saw a legal notice, a block of text explaining that the service had been shut down by court order. The green frog was gone, the search bar was gone, everything was gone. For millions of Americans, it was the end of an era. LimeWire had been part of daily life for nearly a decade. The ritual of opening the program, searching for songs, building your collection, over. The unlimited free music that had seemed like a permanent fixture of the internet finished. The final settlement came in 2011. Lime Group agreed to pay $105 million to the record labels, a fraction of the $75 trillion demanded, but still the largest settlement in file-sharing history. The company was financially ruined, the service was dead, the music industry had finally killed the biggest piracy platform in history. They'd spent a decade fighting. They'd sued 35,000 Americans. They'd shut down Napster, Grokster, Kazaa, and now LimeWire. They'd won every battle. And they'd already lost the war. Chapter 11, The Aftermath: Why Victory Was Defeat. Here's the thing the music industry never understood. They weren't fighting a company. They weren't fighting a technology. They were fighting human behavior. They were fighting the basic reality that digital files could be copied infinitely at zero cost. You can't sue physics out of existence. When LimeWire died, piracy didn't stop, it just moved. BitTorrent was already massive, the Pirate Bay was thriving. New services popped up faster than they could be shut down, the whack-a-mole continued, and the moles were winning. But something else was happening too, something the music industry had fought for a decade instead of embracing. Legal alternatives were finally becoming good enough. iTunes had launched in 2003, offering songs for 99 cents each. It was clunky and expensive by LimeWire standards, but it was legal and virus-free. Slowly, people started using it. Spotify launched in 2008, offering unlimited streaming for a monthly fee or free with ads. Suddenly, you could listen to any song ever recorded, legally, instantly, without worrying about viruses or lawsuits. The music industry spent 10 years and hundreds of millions of dollars suing their customers. They could have spent that money building Spotify themselves. They could have owned the future instead of fighting it. Instead, tech companies built the legal alternatives and now take a massive cut of every stream. The labels traded potential ownership of the future for a decade of lawsuits that changed nothing. Chapter 13: The Virus Museum. Let's take a moment to honor the real victims of the LimeWire era, the family computers that died so we could listen to free music. The viruses that spread through LimeWire were legendary in their creativity and destructiveness. Some just displayed annoying pop-ups, some hijacked your browser, some installed keyloggers that stole your passwords, some turned your computer into a zombie in a botnet, sending spam without your knowledge. The LimeWire virus became a household term. Parents who had no idea what their kids were doing online learned to associate that green frog with their computer dying. Tech support calls surged, computer repair shops thrived. An entire cottage industry existed to fix the damage LimeWire caused. The shared computer was particularly vulnerable. Dad used the family PC for taxes, Mom used it for recipes, the kids used it for LimeWire. Suddenly, everyone's files were encrypted by ransomware, and Dad's tax documents were held hostage. Families had conversations about the LimeWire problem that most of them were too embarrassed to ever discuss publicly. If you used LimeWire and never got a virus, you were either incredibly lucky or incredibly careful. Most people got at least one. Some people got so many that they just gave up and bought a new computer. The computer repair industry probably owes LimeWire a thank you note.